What's going on, guys, and welcome to May's episode of Game of the Month, the show where we pick a game at random every month, and at the end of the month, we talk about it. My name's Seth, and joining me, of course, today is Chevy. Chevy, how you doing? Are you excited to talk about Icarus, which is our Game of the Month? Excited to find out what our Game of the Month for June?
Yeah,
That's what we're going to? Well, we're going to be playing in June, which will be randomly picked, and yeah, doing good?
doing good. End of the month, so busy, and then obviously pretty busy at work right now. So
Sure.
but otherwise, yeah, doing pretty good. I got a lot of stuff I'd like to be playing, so I'm trying to.
That's actually something, without talking too much about details, that's going to be kind of weird for the next week or so. Between the last 2 weeks, you took vacation for a week, then I took vacation for a week, which is kind of fucked with the schedule of filming.
Yeah.
And then work is about to ramp up, which will also make things difficult. Although Summer Game Fest, I think, starts Friday of this upcoming week. So
Okay.
we will have to react to that. I'll be doing it regardless. So obviously we'll film it or we'll stream it, but at least it's at the end of the week, since the upcoming week is going to be a little rough when it comes to work. But yeah, we'll be doing that. Kind of discussing this in front of you guys, but yeah, that's coming up. But that's one reason why everything's fucking. We're doing everything right now. It's because the last 2 weeks you were busy, I was busy.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to find out what we're going to be playing in June. There's a lot of games on our list. Slowly, we've been adding more and more, and they're all games I want to play. Otherwise, though, I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling excited to talk about Icarus. It was actually 3 years ago that we reviewed the game. I think it's around when it came out, back when it was called First Cohort. So this will be an update review. If you want to see what our original review was like, you can find it in the Game of the Month playlist. I just watched it to see what we graded it originally, to see what we how that will compare to our grades now and how we feel about it. So, but with all that said, I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you're here to talk about Icarus. Let's find out what we're going to be playing in June. For anyone who's new here, we have a wheel. These are all back burner games. We're going to spin the wheel. Whatever it lands on, we will dedicate time in June to play and then review it at the end of the month, like we're doing with Icarus this month. And then the month after that, you'll get to pick your game of the month. So start thinking about that. You got a whole month to think about it. And for anybody who can't see this, you're just listening, maybe you're over on iTunes, Spotify, or maybe you're just listening to us on YouTube, I'm going to read the games that we have on the list so you know where we're at. So we have Armored Core 6, Tekken 8, Elden Ring Night Rain just came out. Sadly, does not have duos, but I guess they're working on it. But I put that on the list because it's a game that I would like to play. 7 Days to Die was added, I think, last month. Core Keeper, which was a community pick game of the month. Civilization 7. Daisy. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. We also added that just now because it came out. I'm kind of curious about it. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on it, but if we get it, I will. Earth Defense Force 6, which I'm every month just kind of secretly hoping lands on it because I'd like to play it. It's never a top priority for me.
Right.
Pokemon Infinite Fusion, which is another community pick. Unicorn Overlord, which I also would like to try out. It's a game I've wanted to play for a while. And Project Zomboid, and then Clair Obscure Expedition 33 is still on the list. So, Shelby, before we spin the wheel, is there any games that you're hoping for, any games you're not hoping for? And yeah.
I mean, it'd be super convenient if it landed on Fantasy Life I, because I am playing that right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, honestly, most of them I'd probably be down to play, but right about now, I'm not really like in a hyper focused mood of any sort right now. I should, and it would be nice to have a kick in the butt to play more Clair Obscure. I'm still in Act 1 in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need apparently an excuse to play Unicorn Overlord. Lord, I bought that game and it just sits on my PlayStation. So, but I don't really play my PlayStation often, so it makes
It's
it kinda
on
rough.
PlayStation and Switch.
Yes.
Right? Okay. I would want to watch a review on Switch. It would be kind of cool to play it portably.
It'd probably be easier. Yeah.
Yeah. I just know sometimes loading and stuff is longer and not preferable. So
Shouldn't be too bad. It's a 2D game.
Sure.
So.
I've just played some games on Switch that are on other things, and the slight increase in loading just makes the overall experience not great. So,
Right.
anything else?
Yeah, I mean most of it to be honest, but yeah, most convenient would be Fantasy Life. I was literally playing it before we started filming, so.
Yeah. The games I hope it lands on this month, we'll see. Elden Ring Night Rain, I'd like to play that anyway, and it's a topical game. It just came out. I'd like Fantasy Life, Earth Defense Force 6, Unicorn Overlord would be cool to finally just pick that up. I could pick it up anytime, but I play so many games, I just never do. Clair Obscur would also be cool. I'm not really feeling Core Keeper or DayZ right now. Especially because we just are coming off of playing a survival game, so I'm just kind of like, ready for something else. Well, yeah, we'll see. I'll have to reactivate my server. But yeah, I guess we'll click this and find out what we're going to play in June. Ready?
Yep.
All right, we're going to spin this in 3, 2, 1, and go. It is spinning real fast. We're starting to get some slowdown, and we'll see if it lands directly on DayZ. I don't think it's going to happen. Looks like it's going to land on Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which is great.
Yeah.
Because I believe I'm in the final act, so I need to finish it. So I will likely beat this month and be able to do a full review.
I won't commit to that, but I will try.
Yeah. I guarantee I'll be able to. Once I start playing, it's like super easy for me to play that game. Yeah. But I guess that's a little revealing. But we'll talk about the end of the month. But I'm feeling good about that one. It gives me a reason to just sit down and finally finish it. Yeah, do you have any thoughts on it further than what you just said?
I mean, just like what I said earlier, I pretty much needed a kick in the butt to play it. So
yeah, well, you got it.
Yeah.
Yep. Clair Obscur. I'll just leave that for now. I'll fix it later. All right. Well, cool. Looking forward to playing that. All right. So let's talk about the game we did play in May, which was Icarus. If you didn't get a chance to play Icarus, Icarus is a survival game, first-person survival game. I guess you can play in third person, in which you play as people who land on a planet and you have to survive. Originally, this game came out as a interesting twist to the survival genre, where you had to go on missions for 3 days, 7 days, 12 days, 5 days, and you had to do a mission on a planet, survive on the planet, and then extract. If you didn't extract, you lost your character. If you die, you lost XP. Now, since we've last played, they've introduced just a more traditional survival mode that we played this month, in which you do what you do in every survival game. You survive. You craft stuff. You find resources. You get XP for basically everything that you do outside of running. You hunt animals. You build buildings that you slowly upgrade over time with different resources. You find materials like metals that get better and better, so you make better weapons, from spears made of stick all the way up to machine guns. It has a tech tree similar to Ark. As you level, you get new recipes to craft. It also has skill trees per character, in which you can spec into specific jobs, I guess, whether you want to be good at farming, good at combat, good at hunting, general things like stamina, health, defense, all that kind of stuff. And the game differentiates itself from other survival games in that it is sci-fi. It has a pretty advanced weather system where storms are broadcasted to you before they show up, and then they damage everything in sight. Windstorms can knock trees down. They can destroy your house. Lightning storms can light trees on fire. The fires can spread through the trees, can light your house on fire. Also, a thing that's different in this game than a lot of games is you are dependent on oxygen, and you have to find a resource called oxite to replenish your oxygen. Like every survival games, the longer you play, the easier that becomes. We're at a point now in the game where it's kind of a second thought. And also I didn't see it this time around when we played, but before it was pretty realistic. If you had like an oxidizer sitting next to a flame, it would explode and light everything on fire. I think I didn't put them next to each other on purpose because I remember that from last time. I don't know if it's still a thing or not. I don't know.
They weren't very close to each other. So
Yeah, but it just has some realistic things that you wouldn't really expect from a lot of survival games when it comes to like weather and how fire reacts to chemicals and gases and stuff. So yeah, we both played it, and yeah, let's jump into your impressions of Icarus in May.
yeah. So I don't know exactly what I said 3 years ago, but I could
was a while
probably
ago.
take a guess that the game itself I probably enjoyed for the most part. I do not, regardless of what the game is, enjoy the idea or the gameplay mechanic of restarting. So I'm not a big fan of roguelikes. I'm not a big fan of the idea of like extraction shooters and stuff like that. I just don't want to start over. It's not an appealing process to me. So I would probably guess that was my biggest complaint. Then if I had other ones, I don't remember them at this point. So revisiting this game, because that's obviously what it is, I had forgotten pretty much most things about it, other than I do remember the system where like you get currency to buy stuff basically from home, your space station or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, before you land on the planet, you're able to 3D print basically premium equipment to bring down to the planet with you.
Right, and I remember that system because that was a remnant of is a remnant of the extraction mode, because that way you can have an advantage on your next run type of thing.
Yeah, as you're leveling, getting more skills or whatever, then you can also get currency to bring stuff down to give you the edge of starting your mission faster.
Yeah, and that mode is present in the traditional survival mode as well. So that was interesting to see. Other than that, I had to basically relearn everything again.
Yeah, it is cool that the game maintains the original mission mode that we didn't play this month, but I played a shitload of back when I first played it. But in the more like free mode where you can just kind of live on the planet and survive, there is a way to do missions just like that. So they kind of found a cool middle ground with it.
Yeah, and you get loot and EXP for completing them as well,
Yeah.
and they have varying difficulties.
Yeah,
Nothing
like
super complicated, but they're it's a task you could do to kind of break up the monotony of just gathering and
Yeah.
building all day.
it's like
So,
go hunting or go build this or like farm and like create enough of this and send it back, or like go find some dead I don't know what they're called in this game, but basically the people like you, there's some dead guys somewhere, you got to go find their IDs.
yeah, people who perished on the planet.
There's like structures that'll spawn randomly that you got to go find and repair. Bunch of stuff that definitely breaks up the monotony of a typical survival game where you're just surviving and working towards leveling and getting cooler stuff.
Right. So yeah, that being said, I do like survival games, and this mode was very comfortable for me. So I was able to hop in. I had a very good grasp on it because I played other survival games. And it has some fun twists. Like it has a full fishing system, which I'm not used to in survival games. Usually fishing is pretty cut and dry. This has a whole like workbench where you can like make lures and different stuff like that, fillet the fish. Or you can just rip them into chunks and cook them that way instead, if you don't have the skill to fillet them.
It has a lot of the minute details that, because this is made by Dean Rocket Hall, the guy who made DayZ. So it has a lot of these like little ideas in it that I'd expect from DayZ, where like at first we're like, how do you cook the fish? Oh, you have to fillet it. Okay, so we have to build that to fillet them. But then you found out later, like, oh, you can just tear them apart. It's not as good, but you could still
You have chunks.
you
of
can
fish,
still
basically.
use the fish. Yeah. So it's got all these little cool systems.
Yeah, because I thought originally it was weird that you couldn't just throw the fish in a fire.
I did
'cause,
too. I was like, there's no fucking
you
way.
can do that in real life, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you just have to process it, and it's either like badly or the correct way. So, the game has all the stuff like I said before that you would expect, the building, the gathering, etc. Though I do think it has a fun. How do I word this? The way like you cut down trees and like you mine rocks and stuff like that, because it's specifically with mining, I believe it's voxel based.
Yeah.
So like the rocks like actually like break apart where you're hitting, which is
actually
nice.
There's actually an achievement that says like 1,000 voxels broken.
Yeah. the trees, fall. And this isn't new to games anymore, obviously, but I have played a lot of survival games in the past, and a lot of them just have a fall animation. These like actually take into consideration like the direction you're cutting from and stuff like that.
They have full physics, yeah. Even during windstorms, if they crack, they'll fall like in the direction that obviously the wind's blowing.
Watching a forest catch on fire and spread is also pretty scary. You can go out and be a firefighter, but we found out firsthand that you can just catch on fire while doing that. So, the wildlife, very similar to like games like Ark and Conan and stuff like that, where the wildlife is pretty typical in an area, but sometimes dangerous stuff can spawn kind of close. Like we don't really have bears very often, but sometimes one will get close.
Especially if we kill a deer or whatever and we don't get rid of the carcass.
Oh yeah, that's system right there. I don't think I've seen that in other survival games.
Yeah, I can't. If you guys know one, let me know. But it is interesting. I didn't even notice until like 10 hours into our play session. I had noticed more bears were showing up, and I'm like, why? But at the time, I was looking for. We had so much bone. I was like, I'm not going to break these corpses apart and get the bones. I'm just going to get leather from them. So I just kill a deer, leave it there, and all of a sudden there's bears around. And then I noticed later, I'm like, are they come to the corpses?
Yeah.
Then I noticed on one I had left. I was watching it, and a wolf came out of the bushes, and I was like, "That's fucking
They
that's
beeline it
interesting."
right to the corpse.
Yeah,
unless they see you. So.
You can use it as like bait if you wanted to, but yeah, it'll bring in predators. So
yeah, and then speaking of that as well, if you have like a snare, because the game also has a taming system, and you catch like a boar or a wolf, we have done both at this point. While you're taming them, you have to bring them food, and the easiest way to do that is just to drop a corpse next to them, and they'll just eat on it as well. That also invites other things to show up though, so you kind of have to babysit them. I don't know. It's a neat system. I like it a lot.
That was actually one thing that they added since we last played 3 years ago is the whole pet system and mount system.
Yeah.
And pets have their own skill trees.
Yeah, which is cool. So you can kind of choose the way that you're going to be. Also, the thing I enjoyed about Ark a lot, right, is the animal system. Though I don't think they have skill trees in Ark. So
yeah, I don't even remember. I don't think they do either.
But I do like that we have mounts. There's also, and we didn't get a chance to make one, but there's also just the camelback bags. Basically, you can put on them as well to make them just inventory machines at that point. But we didn't have the resources by the time we got to this video, so we didn't get to see that much of the map. There's surprisingly plenty for us to do in the small area we're in, so I can't really talk about the different environments outside of the forest too much. I can guess though, with the amount of detail in the forest stuff alone, that the other biomes will be their own challenges, I'm sure.
Yeah, since temperature is a big factor. So going to the desert or going to the snowy area, you're going to have to think about staying warm, staying cool, staying hydrated.
And I keep bringing it up, but it's like the one game I played probably the most out of the survival genre. But it's like in Ark when I finally started going out to the snow to get like coal and oil and stuff like that. That was a whole thing to basically prep for those kind of journeys. So I assume it's going to be pretty similar because like we need ice at some point to refrigerate products or food and stuff. Yeah, the what am I looking for? The progression system is pretty good as well. I feel like at first I felt like the leveling was pretty slow, but I think it's just the early levels that feel that way because now I'm at a point where I feel like I'm leveling at a pretty decent pace. In fact, we have more knowledge than we have the technology to use at this point. So I can't really say either the leveling is too fast at this point or we're just too slow at getting new tech and building up our base and stuff. So either way, it's not a bad thing. I just it was interesting to kind of go through that because in the beginning I was like trying to get stuff to be useful and I was like, man, this is taking forever to level, and I just don't feel that way anymore about it. So
yeah, and all the perks are pretty significant. Normally if it's like a perk that has like 3 levels to it, the first one will be like 2%, which is like fucking nothing, but then it jumps to like 5 or 6 to 12. So like by the time you finish out a specific perk or whatever, It's quite a jump. So the levels do, and later too, you'll get like 2 perk points at a time, or like 4 tech tree points at a time. So it always is like, it feels exciting when you fucking level in the game.
Yeah. And then also the trees are pretty big, so it takes a while to like actually get a lot of it. So it was better to play with people in that regard, because like, especially if you're strategizing with them, to learn different things, so you're more well-rounded as like a group. So I know you had a lot of like building and like hunting stuff, or fighting, I guess.
Yeah.
I went kind of more like a doctor route, so I was able to make a lot of medicines, and then I also started kind of like playing around a little bit with the animals and the taming stuff. I haven't put a lot of effort into that, but I did mostly focus on being able to create like medicines and stuff like that. So, which were okay at first, and then as I've gotten to the point where we have like actual drinkable tonics, they are very nice. They're just kind of a pain in the butt to make. So
Yeah, luckily I like, and I think you're the same. I don't use them unless I really have to, so they do kind of stack up after a while.
yeah,
And you're just getting XP for making them anyway, so.
yeah, and I mean they're mostly used for like long trips, because like
Yeah.
if you get sick when you're close to your base, you just kind of go hang out in the base for a little bit until the sickness goes away. So, or poison or whatever you have going on.
Yeah, I mean, the original concept of the game was going on these missions, so having that kind of stuff would definitely help with the mission. Now it's like, if you're going to go long distance somewhere, going to go on a journey, go on a mission, it makes sense to bring that stuff to, streamline it.
Right. Yeah, and then like you had brought up when you were talking about the game in the beginning, the game has 3 survival hunger bars. Basically, you have oxygen, water, and food. So instead of just 2 resources, you have 3 to take care of. I honestly think the oxygen is a little bit of a waste of time. I don't think it's like a huge deal to the point where like it bothers me, but I am starting to wonder why it's in the game at this point. Because first off, we're in an area with a ton of trees anyways, and there's animals, so what are they breathing? And why can't I breathe it?
Maybe there's something in the air that would kill you, though.
Maybe. I don't know. It seems a little funny. And then like it has become such a non-issue at this point.
I think that's a past and current game design problem, though, because it made complete sense in the original vision of the game where you go on these missions, because it added an element that felt hardcore. When I watched our original review, we had brought up the word hardcore a lot. We kept talking about like it's more of a hardcore survival game. It's a hardcore survival game because you can lose your characters, because like you go on these missions and you're fucking timed, and like there's all these factors, and like I gotta eat, I gotta drink, I gotta find oxygen, and every time you have to start from the beginning and start building up. Whereas like we're living comfy right now. We're playing like a normal survival game, and so we're all set up for oxygen or replenishing oxygen. But the original concept was supposed to be like, that's a stressful, it's like when you're Sonic underwater and you're looking for the bubbles or whatever. And so I think the system feeling like, why is it even in the game now? It's like, because it was designed for a different kind of game. It doesn't bother me. And you didn't say it bothered you, but like,
it just seems pointless.
It's like a passive thing now, especially where we're out in the game. I'm not even thinking about it. But then every once in a while, if I go like really far away, even though I think you just got the new tank and I'm going to be getting it soon.
O2 tanks, yeah.
Instead
of bags.
You're like good for a while. So I'm at the point now where I'm already not thinking about oxygen almost ever. And once I get the upgraded tank to the one I already have, I'm probably not going to think about it much at all. So,
we're currently in the process of going from leather bags that hold water and oxygen to metal canisters. So
yeah.
But anyways, without going through every little mechanic of the game, I do think the game offers a very comfortable, if you're used to the survival games, survival mode that has some neat flavor to it when it comes to like making itself different. Like I kind of brought up the fish thing already, the skill trees on the pets. Having to use charcoal to filter water, is another thing that is kind of a neat. It feels like an extra step, but it also kind of makes sense because like you're not just going to go out and drink out of a lake. You'll get sick. That happens in this game too. Like you don't drink out of raw water, you get dysentery and stuff. So
yeah, it's got a lot of, again, little details that I just appreciate that they like thought about. Even when fucking you call in from the mothership something to come down to pick something up and then it flies off, it will damage shit
you
around
have to keep
it
an eye on
when
where
it takes off.
Yeah, where you put your phone basically for that. Because we had it close to the house at first, and it landed real close. And when it took off, it damaged the walls.
I was standing outside, and as I was sending it off, and it's like going beep beep beep, I was like, "Wait, is this going to damage the house?" And went,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I watched a bunch of damage indicators, a bunch of numbers go across the house. It's like, fuck. And I ran in there. I'm like looking around for a fire and shit. There's no fire, but
Right.
like it just damaged everything.
The wind
like,
pressure hurt everything.
I was like,
yeah.
holy shit. It was hilarious how like milliseconds before it even happened, I was like, wait, is this going to do something?
Yeah.
And it did. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, but yeah, overall, this part of the game, the part we have experienced this month, I'm much more favorable of. Is more my alley. I would like to keep playing more of it. So
Yeah. I actually kind of want to try and transfer it over to a server.
we will have to be more proactive at that point because there will be no pausing anymore.
I think I would turn the server off just because the world is living and things can happen.
do
Like
that.
like the forest could light on fire and
the animals starving to death.
kill the animals. Yeah, I don't want that to happen while I'm gone. But when we were playing with you and Chris,
sure
you and Chris
computer's
hopped on.
pissed, yeah.
I'm playing and also hosting at the same time, and I could play just fine, but every once in a while I'd get these little glitches that would happen that weren't happening if I played by myself. So I could tell it's like my computer's acting as a server while I'm playing on it. It'd be
Yeah.
nicer just to have a dedicated server. But yeah, I mean, I haven't talked about my impressions, but I would also like to keep playing the game.
Go ahead.
Yeah, coming back to this game was cool. I really liked this game when I first played it. When it's just the missions, I'm into extraction shooters. I'm into hardcore type games. I'm into punishing games. I like the idea. Like I play Hunt Showdown of like losing all your shit if you die. I know that's hit or miss for people. I completely understand. I would never try to change your mind on not being into that. I get it, but I like it. It gives me a thrill because I'm like, I don't want to lose my fucking shit, and it sucks when you do, but that's the thing that's exciting is when you don't die. You're like, oh, I still have my stuff. I escaped. So I really liked the original concept, and I love that it still has that. But I do like that they've added this mode now, and they probably added it a while back. Anybody who plays Icarus regularly is probably like, why are you guys even talking about it? Haven't played in like 3 years, so
Yeah.
coming back and trying out this mode, it's satisfying for me as well because I like survival games, more traditional ones where you just survive and have to start farming, gathering, all that stuff. But I was also excited about it because when we had originally played it, I remember you saying that you liked a lot of the systems, but you just really didn't like that mission mode, which I'm like not going to be able to convince you otherwise. I don't even want to. You're just not into it. I'm like, well, that kind of sucks because this is like a pretty fucking solid survival game. It's dedicated to this vision that you're just not into. So now that they have this mode, I assumed you would be able to enjoy the game more, and it seemed like you did because you seemed much more into it this time around than the first time. Also, the first time we played it, we had a bunch of people playing, and I know you don't like a lot of stuff happening all at once, especially when you're learning a game and stuff.
Too much audio stressful.
Yeah, I get that. So yeah, this time around, I had a lot of fun playing it. I really liked the game already, and coming back to it, it just felt like a more refined and better game. It was interesting listening to the original review because I had complained about animal pathing. That's not an issue anymore. In fact, I feel like the animals are always up your ass if they attack you. They're very aggressive. I also talked about how the game needed more wildlife. It has way more wildlife now. There's a bunch of things in our biome, a bunch of fish in the water. There's a horse type animal that's really fucking aggressive, moas, all sorts of stuff that wasn't there when we originally played. So that's cool. I'd complained about tree physics. There was a bug when we originally played that when you cut a tree down, if you got near the tree would bounce and you would take damage, and it like broke my legs before. And happened to multiple people. That's not in the game anymore. I didn't see that once. I cut down many trees and did not see it once. So I forgot it even happened until I watched the review. I was like, oh yeah, that's funny. I'm glad they fixed that because that was really stupid. So yeah, there's just a bunch of improvements that have been made to the game. It still is very similar to the original game, but just more content in the game is less buggy, less problems. It does have a couple bugs here or there, just like any survival game.
All of them.
They're pretty ambitious games to kind of give you these sandboxes to level up and create in these worlds. And so, of course, issues are going to come with that, especially games that are calculating a lot of things like this game when it comes to individual pieces of your house being damaged by fucking wind, but also weight management. I was reminded that weight matters when you are building a house. I built a whole section of a house, and when I started building the second floor, the roof collapsed in, and then the floor collapsed in. I was like, okay, support beams. Got to start thinking about this in a structural integrity kind of way. Cool.
Yeah.
Which I really like. I just didn't think about it when I was first building. I was like, fuck, everything just broke apart. And it's funny, when I watched the review, we were talking about how weight matters as well, because there's a room in our house back 3 years ago that when I was solo, nothing happened. But when a bunch of us were in the room, the floor collapsed because there's too much weight in there.
Oh, interesting.
So it has all these systems happening that are just really fucking neat. Stuff I love in survival games. Yeah, I played my characters from 3 years ago, which is cool.
I didn't.
I had a level 22 and a level 28. I played my level 28. What level did you get to? Because I'm double your level. You're like mid 20s?
I assume so.
I think you're like 24, 25. Because I want to say I'm like level 50 now.
Yeah.
I'm in tier 4 of the tech tree too. And we should be further along because I have access to a lot of stuff. But we've just been kind of playing at our own pace and just kind of vibing in the biome. So and it's fun, so I don't care. But I'm pretty far along when it comes to the tech tree. I have the achievement for access to tier 4 and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's just been cool to play that level 28, get them up to 50. I've put like 20, 30 hours into the game this month, which I waited pretty late to actually play this game. But when we did start playing it, I was having those nights where I didn't want to go to bed. And I haven't felt like that in a while. And that's why I try to avoid these kind of games, because I love survival games. And this one, as soon as I got back into it just clicked. I was like,
that's why I don't play Minecraft very often either. So
yeah, it'd be like
play for hours.
It'd be like 5:30, almost going on 6. I think I was on vacation at the time, but I was just like, I gotta sleep. I have to get some sleep. Like, I can't be up fucking all night. But yeah, it's one of those games. It's just like one more thing, build one more thing. Oh, I'm about to level.
There's always something to do.
We're about to craft brand new shit. I want to try it out. Oh, I just got a pistol for the first time, which was awesome. I got a pistol that you can only put one round in at a time. But when you shoot that thing and get a headshot and just blast a fucking animal and they just die instantly, it's so satisfying. Also, this game has a really cool thing that is still not boring to me at all. When you headshot animals and they die, it zooms in on their head and shows the headshot.
It is like the Sniper Elite type thing.
Yeah, it's like Sniper Elite. And it's weird because you're playing like a multiplayer game. But it'll show that. And it's nice too because it's happening real time when it does the zoom in. So by the time it comes back, I'm already like reloaded my round or my arrow or whatever. So it doesn't disturb combat in any way really. That's super satisfying when you use a pistol or like the bow and arrow, which I've put a lot of points into the perk tree, on archery. My guy's Legolas basically. And no, obviously further down the game we'll have like SMGs, shotguns, all that shit, and they're really powerful, and I'll probably start putting points into that as well. But building arrows is easy, and I'm getting a lot of damage out of it, and there's better bows, so I feel like it's a good investment.
Arrows we're not using.
Yeah, true. I'm still using like the second tier of arrows because I'm still just killing shit in one shot, headshotting them. The only thing that ever throws me off is bears if they like attack me out of nowhere. I'm not expecting it, which does happen, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
There was an operation we were doing in a cave you, me, and Chris, and I had run back to the house because we were running out of supplies, and it was in the middle of the night, and I got attacked by a bear, and I put like 5 fucking arrows into that guy, but he ended up killing me, and it was terrifying. It's just pitch black out there, and it was horrifying. So yeah, it's been cool leveling that character and seeing more from that. Getting to the pistol at this point, which I should have got to a long time ago, but all I want to do is build. In these kind of games, I just like to build shit. So it was cool too. You'll see in the footage that I put, it's a compilation of different clips from early when we started playing to more recently. So you'll see like our 2x2 shack that I made because I was like, we need a house. So I just built
shelter,
like a quick little shack. And the footage you're watching is that exact same shack, just slowly turning into like a little chateau. Now our animal pen, as soon as we started like thinking about getting pets, I was like, shit, we're gonna need room, and I had to expand that thing twice now because we just keep adding more pets.
Probably should stop. We have too many.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I just love building in these games, so that's what I want to do. I also want to kill stuff too, though. So it's been cool leveling the arrows and building weapons and shit. Yeah, the game's not the best looking game, but I actually really kind of love the way it looks. It's going for a more realistic visual style. It's got a little bit of like just like nature visuals that look nice, but also like you just look up and you realize you're on an alien planet. I also like the aesthetic of the buildings and equipment and stuff like that. It's from wood to like sci-fi type stuff. Storms are awesome looking. I love the storm system. I'd love to see them add more to it. But we haven't been in the other biomes either. So like I've been in them 3 years ago. I touched them a little bit, but I didn't live there. I just would like go there to get ice and shit.
Right.
So it'd be cool to see what kind of possibly weather happens there other than just being cold or hot. But I really love the weather system. I think it's one thing that really differentiates this game from other survival games. The only game that even comes close to it is like Conan has a really cool sandstorm system.
Oh yeah.
That I
That makes a lot of sense.
also
Upcoming game too.
really love. So, and then the new Dune game that they're making has sandworms and shit, which is really neat. So I love seeing that kind of environmental dynamic stuff in survival games. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah, it was fun building up the shack to the little chateau. I also built a premium bridge across a river that I didn't really need to do, but we were crossing the river often downstream, and I was like, I'm gonna make this easier. So when we need to cross it, we'll just walk across it. Made
Also
it with
helps
materials.
with the pets because they're really bad at. They won't climb out of the river if they can't get a flat surface. So.
Yeah, their pathing could use some work.
A lot of work.
But for the most part, they seem to work just fine. It's just certain things they don't want to interact with, and it's like okay. Also, the way I had built our animal area, they sometimes didn't want to go through the gate, and they would run outside. I had these spiked barriers outside of our house. They would run right into them. I'm like, what are you doing? Fucking, your food's there. Stop going this way.
Yeah, straight path. Screw your door.
Yeah. So, let's see. Graphics are good. Visuals are cool. The sound design is actually really good. It's got really good directional sound, got really good ambient sound. You can tell where things are at, like deer, just from the direction. You can hear it when it comes to the audio. So, I mean, that's more than a lot of games do. A lot of games like say they got good audio, and then I'll listen to them like, this sounds like shit. But
even when the missions, the one where you have to find the bodies, have little distress signals on their suits that beep. Are going off. So that's how you find them, because sometimes they're in some bushes somewhere.
Yeah, they're laying in a bush. You visually can't see them. So, which I love, because you have to start digging through the bushes to find them. But while baby bears attack you for some reason, all those missions always have baby bears, but no actual bear. I'm always like, where's the mom at?
Where's your mom? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just them. And I'm like, why? So that's kind of weird. What else? Yeah, I don't know. The game's fun. Combat's fun. It's a little simple, but it's fun. The dynamic systems involved always, you think things are going good and something happens and you gotta like think on your feet, which is something I like. I like things that change up the course of gameplay, so I can't just rely on doing the same thing over and over again. And when we continue to play the game, we're gonna have to. Right now, we're in a building up our iron situation because we're trying to make steel.
Yeah, we were at a point where like all of our upgrades are steel, and so
Yeah.
it takes 4 iron to make 1 steel.
So we're currently upgrading our civilization to a steel civilization from a iron civilization, but because of that, we have to go get a lot of iron. We found a cave that has a shitload in it, and no enemies in there,
yeah.
which is fucking weird because it's huge.
It is not close though.
You could, yeah, it's pretty far away. But right now we're just stealing a bunch of, or just taking a bunch of iron out of there and building up our steel deposits so we can build more steel items. And then eventually we'll start heading to other biomes. There's also, because I know the map pretty well from the last time I played it, it's a whole section of this biome we're in to the south that we haven't even touched. It's like huge. So, and there's also a second map, and then there's a DLC map that you can buy. They've also added a shitload of stuff to buy. Oh, also one thing that's kind of neat is that currency you use to 3D print stuff before you land on a planet. You can order that stuff basically if you have it in your inventory already while you're on planet in this mode. And there is something called, I think it's called exotic. It's a like an ore similar to like iron or whatever.
It's purple.
You can ship that off, and then you get the currency, and then you can use that to buy more 3D printed stuff, buy research for that stuff, or respec. You can respec, but it costs I think 150 per skill point.
Yeah, the money.
It's pretty pricey. I invested quite a bit to get rid of like 4 of my skills, but it's worth it because I'm like, I'm not using these, so it's like a waste of my skill points. I'd rather spend this currency to get rid of that than buy some cool fucking equipment. Like I'm every time I look at my skill tree and see that I have 4 points in spears, I don't use spears. It's a waste. So, but yeah, I'm glad it has maintained some of its hardcore elements of going like, you can respec, but you gotta invest in your respec, and I'm like, that's cool, something to work towards. So
Yeah.
yeah. But overall, I really enjoyed Icarus this month. I'm definitely playing it more after this, to the point where I'm thinking about how I want to continue playing it, whether on my computer or on a server. Apparently, you can transfer the save because I don't want to start another planet. Although it wouldn't be too bad. I still keep my level and stuff. But I just like what we got going on right now, so I don't want to lose it if we don't have to. And overall, I think Icarus has become a better game than it was. I already liked it before, so that's really cool to see. I was a little worried because I hadn't played it so long. I'm like, hopefully they supported it. Hopefully it's in a good place. Hopefully they didn't squander, the amount of time they could put into it to make it into a better game. Seems like they did exactly what I wanted them to do. So that's cool. I don't know where it's at right now. I haven't followed really the community or the dev. I don't know if they're still working on it. I should probably look into that. But yeah, there's plenty of game there. So pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Just that hopefully we can get to a point, because this is the same problem with Arc, to actually do the progression of the map at some point.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's, from what I looked at in the like accolade section, you can look in there. There's like 4 world bosses, and we already killed one of them.
So what did we?
Yeah, that black wolf.
That was a mission.
Yeah, but that NPC, that wolf that we killed, is a boss.
So that's how you get it, though? You don't...
Well, originally it was a mission that you had to go on, and there's an alpha leader of like this den of wolves.
I just assumed it was like a copy of like the actual one that's on the map somewhere.
It is, but I got it achieved.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But maybe I have it achieved because I did the mission back in the day.
Maybe.
You'll have to check yours.
Yeah. Well, my whole point is because I assume it's similar, set up similar to Arc, where there's, the 4 locations where the bosses are, and then after that you can, move on to another map if you want to, type of thing. So I'd like to try to get to a point of doing that. So,
I mean, we can go on to another planet and keep this planet any time. Just leave this planet.
Well, yeah, but I'd like to beat the map.
Yeah, sure.
That's all I'm saying. And we've barely even seen this map. I'm not in a rush to leave it.
We've barely touched it, yeah. Yeah, I could easily put another, 100, 200 hours into the game, so.
Yeah.
Which is quite the endorsement. Recommendations?
I mean, if you like survival games, obviously, it does still, I believe, have the mission mode. So if you like extraction shooters and you want like a survival game twist
More
to that,
hardcore mode.
it has that. Uh, if you're the type of person who likes to like take on a role in a game with your like a co-op game with friends, you can do that in this game. You could be like the hunter gatherer, you could be a builder, you can be a scavenger. A lot of the stuff I end up doing is going out and like picking plants to make medicine, right? So I do that a lot in the game.
Yeah, the one thing we're lacking on our team is somebody who's like farming.
Yeah, we don't really have
That would've
farming,
been
and we
cool.
don't have anyone who's like specialized in the animal stuff.
Yeah.
Because we have pets.
Yeah, you're
we're
doing it, but you're not really
Yeah, I don't
spec
have
for it.
any points really into it. So
I don't like taking care of shit, so.
yeah, there's just choices there, which is nice. And if you are into what was I gonna say? Oh, so similarly to Ark and Conan, this game does have like bosses, and then there is an endpoint. So if you're just into action adventure games where you build up, you level up, you go fight bosses, type thing, this game has that as well. So
Especially when you get to the point of like having guns and stuff, this would basically could just turn into a like hardcore first person survival shooter.
yeah, I mean that's basically what a lot of them do turn into. And obviously the end game in a lot of them is the PvP aspect of it. I'm not super interested in that. I don't think this game has that.
I don't think this game has PvP.
But that is, Conan and Ark as an example. That is basically what you end up doing. You get
I
to
know.
a point where the only threat is people. So
We impressively found out that you can hurt each other pretty late when
You
Chris
shot
played with
right in
us.
the face with an arrow or something. Oh no!
You walked
poked
up and you stabbed him with a fucking spear, and
Spear,
he took
yeah.
a shitload of damage because he had just started playing.
Yeah.
And we were making him make his own armor and stuff because it felt kind of cheap to just give him
everything.
high end stuff, and he would also miss out on getting the XP of crafting things if we just gave him shit. So, but yeah, you'd stabbed him and he took damage. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, apparently you can hurt each other. So we never hurt each other on
swung at each
accident.
other or
Yeah,
anything,
or I never shot an arrow into you, or anything. So I was like, oh, that's the thing. So you could probably technically, if you wanted to with your friends, like fight each other,
Yeah.
but it's not really set up for that. It was originally set up to be co-op missions and then turned into this. So it's not really the intent. Whereas like you play Ark or Rust and you hop on like a public server, you run into someone, they're gonna fucking try and kill you.
Oh yeah.
It's all built for like factions and like locking your door
Clans
and
and stuff,
like
yeah.
only people can access this and
Obviously the extreme of that is Rust. So
but yeah, I don't play Rust because it's just fucking.
I mean that is
mind-numbing.
just a PvP game basically.
Yeah.
It has like PvE elements and stuff.
I had high hopes for Rust back when it first came out, and then I played it years later. I'm like, this didn't change at all. It's the same fucking game.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea either. Though I do enjoy watching the occasional Rust video because I do think
I'm sure.
systematically there's a lot of cool stuff about it. But I
Yeah.
don't like PvP at all. So
Yeah.
but yeah, anyways, those are my suggestions, recommendations, whatever. So
Yeah, I basically agree. If you like survival games, you like hardcore games, if you like extraction shooter type games, roguelites kind of. If you're into cooperative experiences, if you like hunting and fishing, if you like crafting stuff,
You
if
can
you like
fish all day.
if you like expansive job-esque skill trees and tech trees, I think you might get something out of this because I just think it's really neat that you can have like eventually I don't know what the level cap in this game is, but it's just neat that you can be specialized in something and someone else can be specialized in something else. So it feels still team oriented, not just like you're all surviving along with each other and just having fun. It's like you actually can depend on each other to do things, and I really like that. But yeah, and that it is a survival game. It is punishing in some ways.
Oh yeah.
It's not green hell or where the fuck that game is, where like you have to worry about your macros and nutrients and the type of foods you're eating. I can't get into that.
It's too much for
It's
me.
too much. It's like, oh, you ate mushrooms. Where's your protein? I'm like, I don't want to think about this shit, man. Like, but I'm sure people out there, want that.
Oh, for sure.
But
I mean, it's like the difference between like playing a space sim versus like a pseudo sim versus like a more arcade game, type of
Yeah.
thing. So
yeah, going from like fucking oh god, what's that one game? I can't remember, but like going from that to like Elite Dangerous to like Everspace 2, which is like an arcade shooter in space. Yeah. There's levels. So anyway, I'd recommend it to people who are interested in those kind of games.
Yeah.
Especially if you're into survival games and you haven't played this, I highly recommend it. You should check it out. I think you'll like it. And if you liked DayZ, take the zombies out. I think you'll appreciate this.
Yeah, I've never played DayZ.
Just because it has all those little things in it. I think you would like DayZ, just because it's, when you're in it, eventually, like it feels like you're surviving. Like I have like PTSD to this day of like things I've experienced in fucking DayZ with real people. I don't trust people because of that game. But yeah, eventually we'll play that. It's on our game of the month list. So
Right.
yeah, so let's grade it. I'll go first. So originally I gave this game a B plus. I at the time was struggling with that review, saying that I wanted to give it an A minus, but it had all these problems, and so I really wanted to give it A minus, but I have to be, logical about it. I gave it a B plus. I think I'm gonna give it an A. I really like this game a lot. It's like probably one of my favorite survival games. Top 3 easily. So yeah, I gotta give it an A. I would give it an A plus if every once in a while, like something janky kind of happens, and that's going to happen in survival games. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it does happen every once in a while. I think the building could be a little better. It's pretty sticky in how walls like attach to each other, and sometimes I do a lot of building in the game, so like you have to kind of like look at weird angles to get it to attach to where you want it to, and you get used to it, but it could be better. There are games out there that have much better systems. Like Enshrouded has like a fantastic building system, and this doesn't need to have that, but it could be improved. So some critique. But other than that, like, the aesthetic, the sci-fi meets like nature and surviving thing. Being a survival game, it's not too hardcore survival, but not like too simple. It just offers me a lot of stuff that I love. I've really enjoyed playing it again. I like that they have this mode now that you can enjoy the game as well. So yeah, I'm upgrading my B plus, not to an A minus, but to an A. I really love this game.
Yeah. So the game is completely something I want to play at this point now because it does have that mode. It was my only hang up that I can remember was that I don't want to restart over all the time.
You're honestly pretty positive about the game otherwise. You just didn't like that mode in your original review.
Because this falls right into my favorite type of survival games, which are, Ark, Conan, and then I would also put this in there at this point because I do think it is a very similar feeling game. I like this type of survival game, so works for me a lot. I'm looking forward to Dune. So,
yeah, I can't wait to play it.
That being said, I haven't experienced anything outside of our bubble yet, and so it's hard for me to go too high because I just don't know what the quote unquote end game feels like yet. So at the current point of the game, I'm gonna give it a very, very high B plus. I enjoyed the game quite a bit. It can easily be an A, but I need to experience more before I get to that point. So.
That's fair. You originally gave it a B, so you upgraded your which I thought was like, I watched the review, I'm like, oh, you graded it pretty high already.
Yeah,
a B's good. So yeah, B plus you increased, so that's cool. I went higher than I thought it would because I was like, when I watched that review, I'm like, yeah, I mean, A minus sounds about right. But now all those problems that I had are gone.
Yeah.
And the game's better. So I jumped even higher. So, all right. So B plus and an A. If you haven't played the game, you should. We both liked it. So let us know in the comments, what do you guys think of, or what do you think of Icarus? Have you played it? Have you not played it? If you haven't played it, why haven't you played it? And if you have played, did you play the earlier version? Have you played the more recent version? Have you played the whole thing? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about where it's at now as opposed to what it was? What's some of your favorite stuff about it? Maybe you got some things about it you don't really like. Favorite systems, favorite things to do. What level are you? What's your favorite survival games? That's kind of interesting because I said it's like probably in my top 3. I like a lot of survival games. I'd have to figure out what the other 2 are, but I'd have to think about that. But yeah, where's it stack for you? And what is some of your favorite, or what are some of your favorite survival games? Give some recommendations in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Game of the Month. So always thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me for this conversation. And stay tuned. We have Plus Club coming up as well. We're about to film that. And we will be doing a reaction to Summer Game Fest when that happens, so stay tuned for that. And I've been making shorts. A lot of they're called shorts on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm like Reels, Shorts, TikToks. I make a lot of those. So if you guys are watching those, thanks for watching those. Gives you something bite-sized, and I enjoy making small little videos. So, but yeah, until the next episode, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.